What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vuong Nguyen. First off, I just want to give a huge shout out to Hardy from Pure Bhangra for letting me be a part of this awesome series with so many amazing dancers on the circuits. So just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Hanoi, Vietnam, and I came here to the US to study in college about 6 years ago. After graduations, I moved to Los Angeles, California, started working as a software engineer and designer. Let me tell you the story of how I got to Bhangra. It was in my senior year of college. I joined a Bollywood fusion team. It was my first time ever dancing, so I have so much fun with it. However, we don't know how to do Bhangra. So our captains flew out a guy all the way from Texas, 8 hours away, to teach us how to do Bhangra properly. And that's my first time seeing a Bhangra dancer in real life. And I just immediately fell in love with it. I haven't seen such dance form that embrace both power and grace at the same time. And it sounds cliche, but there was that unspoken confidence and swag that urges me to learn more about Bhangra. So after the workshops, I came in touch with Anil, continued training with him over videos because he lives so far away from me. But once in a while, I'll make the drive to Texas, 8 hours away, to spend a weekend with him to learn more about Bhangra. And that's how I started. This kept going on for about 6 months, and I learned a ton from this guy. So Bhangra, to me, I almost have this love and hate relationship with Bhangra, because when I think about Bhangra, I thought about the sweat and pain in the studio, the long hour drive to practices, to long travel to the competitions and all the hours that we have to put in to prepare for competitions. But at the same time, it brings me all the joy of being on stage, of being around my teammates, of being so immersed in such an art form. It's a beautiful art form. And also, Bhangra became my deepest passion. So dancing on a live team, the biggest challenge that we face is coordination between our band members and our dancers. Our singer, Gary Bassi, and our Toli, Ashi are from the Bay Area, which is about 7 hours away from where we are. So we don't get to practice with them until the day of the competitions. So how are we even going to practice? Usually we design a set and then send in that practice recording with a DAW recording to the singer and the Toli so that we can get the input. After that, they send us back their recording and we kind of use it as a mix to practice with. It's not really authentic in any ways, but we have to get used to that. And then on the day of the competitions, we have a few hours to get used to a singer and the DAW before we go on stage. So another challenge I face personally is actually my family. The people in the community have been very encouraging and supportive of me being a non-Punjabi dancer. However, it was difficult for me to explain to my parents of how and why I'm so dedicated and invested in a culture, an art form that is not a part of my own. Sometimes when they see the negative side of it, coming back home at 4 a.m. in the morning after practice, getting multiple injuries, a lot of traveling back and forth to competitions, it raises the questions of, is it worth it to pursue this passion of mine? That was one of the things I struggle with to rationalize it to them. So I do have two separate groups of friends, my Bhangra friends and my non-Bhangra friends. Just because we don't necessarily have the same common topics and interests to talk about. However, I believe that my Bhangra friends have become my closest friends outside of the dance form. We would talk about our career, our family values, our relationships, and even our faiths outside of practices. And I can imagine, 5, 10, 20 years from now, these teammates will still be my closest friends. I think we met through Bhangra, and Bhangra got us closer together. But the bond that we made extend beyond dancing. It's really for a lifetime. They have become my second family. To be honest, I haven't been completely satisfied with any Bhangra piece that I made. However, an ideal piece for me would be a combination of three different things. First is the musicality that highlights and complements the choreo. Second being the seamless transitions between each individual move in the choreo. Third, I put huge emphasis on the wow factor, the drop, the interesting variations that can take the piece to the next level. And I'm going to steal this food analogy I just learned from Nimit Desai. But he said, if a Bhangra piece is going to be a meal, the roti being the choreo, the rice being the mix you choose, and then the pickle being the cool, choreo variation that you made, then the drop, the wow factor, better be the chicken tikka masala. It has to be the star of the dish. Over 3 years of dancing, I've met so many amazing, amazing people in the community who have supported and guided me to learn so much more about the art form and culture. You guys know who you are. I love you, and I appreciate you guys. I also want to give a shout out to one of my closest friend and mentor, Haji Singh Chiraya. Haji has been dancing for 7 years with great success in many competitions. He has mentored a lot of the amazing people in the community. But to me, Haji set the example of the leader I want to be. I still remember one of the day I got into a very bad car accident. Immediately I called Haji, and he took a day off work just to help me deal with the aftermath. That's the type of friend, the type of leader Haji is. He really proves to me that even though we met through Bhangra, we got closer through a Bhangra team, but it truly felt like a family. Over the years, Bhangra has evolved in so many different ways. We can see the different trends and different styles being all incorporated into a Bhangra music performance. Especially in North America, we can even see the influences from other cultures being pulled into a Bhangra performance. But to me, Bhangra has always been about the joy and the celebration of culture and community. So with all these new modern collaborations and all the new tweaks, I think the original essence of Bhangra is still there. I love that Bhangra has become more popular and taught all around the world. We see more and more Bhangra academies and online workshops to make it more accessible for everyone. However, I want to bring up a point that we need to start teaching the underlying significance and the origin stories of each dance style and the fundamental moves. For example, in our live team, we teach our dancers that Foka mimics the way people make roti back in the day. So we not only that we try to teach them how to dance, we also want to bring up the true appreciations of the culture and the history behind it.